Well, I'm not very qualified to answer this. I really don't know. I know what I read. I don't always believe what I read, do y'all? But sometimes I do. And I don't know. I can tell you at GM as I go around, we have a tremendous pool of young people. This year we had our summer interns, which is a big number, and I've spent quite a bit of time with them. You have to come away thinking that we're still okay. I don't know if that's right or not, but boy, we had a lot of bright young people. Are we falling behind? I don't know the answer to that. Inside of me tells no, but I really don't know. You know, I feel like we're going to be okay.
Well, I certainly hope so. One of the areas that we continue to be concerned about is the fact that, for example, an assembly line worker in the future will require a two-year community college degree, and we don't know if those workers are going to be there, just as we're not sure that the engineers of the future are going to be there. But a question, you may not be able to talk about this, but I know that you're working very hard internally on the IPO. This month is probably a big month in that. What do you think the appetite is going to be in the marketplace, the financial markets, for an auto stock?
I think the appetite's going to be really good for GM stock.
Maybe when we see the numbers next week.
Speak for that. You know, we are, I don't think it's any secret, we're moving towards going public again. Uppermost in our mind is getting the government out of our business. We want to do that more than anything. We've paid back the loans. They still have a lot of equity, as do the other three share owners. And so we're moving as fast as we can go on that. I think the appetite's going to be big. The people I talk with say this has the potential to be the biggest initial public offering or IPO ever. And I'm optimistic that that will happen. We don't like this label of government motors. We want to get away from that. We know that's turned off customers. It turns us off. People at GM are embarrassed by that. You lose your reputation, it's hard to get back. Everybody knows that. So we are working hard. As far as a timetable goes, we're not there yet. We have to do several things, one of which is file what's known as an S1 report with the Securities Exchange Commission. It's a document about that thick that describes everything at GM. It has to be approved by the SEC. That's going to take some time. We're trying to get revolver credits in place, so we still have a lot to do, but we're optimistic and we're certainly moving as fast as we can. It's number one on our list.
Of course, the most important factor is those projected future earnings as to what the value of the stock is.
Well, we will be announcing our second quarter earnings next week. As you know, we make money for the first time in a long time, I think since 2007, in the first quarter of this year, and that buoyed us up. The second quarter, I think you're going to like more. We're on a trajectory like this. We like what we see. We like what's happening, but you're exactly right. Future financials are such a key part of this.
And of course, one of the things that has impressed me with the dramatic turnaround, we've seen that at GM, Ford, Chrysler, and you mentioned that, is the fact that this industry can be profitable at what we would think of as historically depression level of sales.
Sure.
And that is, it's an unbelievable level of restructuring that has really led us to this point. What lessons were learned in your prior life, ATT and others, being a Texan, whatever, that you bring to GM? I mean, you've been around the block a few times, and you
can tell us by looking, right?
Oh, well, I've been around the block, and I'm probably a little older than you are.
I don't think so. We'll talk about that later. I've aged a lot in the last year.
I aged enough when I got married, and then having kids and now grandkids really does age you a lot faster than the rest of the things around. But what have you brought? I mean, you've had tremendous experience.
Well, I don't know that I brought anything. It was interesting how this happened because I got called by the Treasury Department a little over a year ago now that says, Ed, would you come do this? And I said, absolutely not. No way. Happily retired. Been with AT&T 44 years. 18 of those years as chairman, and was pretty happily retired. But after repeated calls, I got to thinking, well, I've been lucky. If I can help, I'll go do it, because the country needs this company, really needs this company. And although I don't know anything about cars, or didn't, except I've always been a GM owner, I agreed to come do it. I brought some things with me, I think, that help. I came from a large company, and it was a unionized company, so I was familiar with that. Been around a lot of organizations and a lot of management people over the years. We had some success at AT&T, and so all that experience certainly helped. But I think all of us know when you have the right people and the right management and the right organization structure, it's not me that makes GM go, it's the combination of all those people wanting to achieve an objective. And that objective is to become public and profitable and be a good investment for stockholders.
I've heard from some of the people down in your organization that you're not particularly enthralled with bureaucracy.
Don't like it at all. And that's part that you got to have the right organization, the right people, and you certainly need the right processes. And GM has, still has way too much bureaucracy, but we're trying to dismantle most of that and get back to the business. The only business we have is we sell cars. That's all we do.
Well, my final question, and I know you have an obligation here very shortly, is that you've become notorious for giving away new vets. And this question, did you bring one with you today, and can I have it?
What color?
Red. Yeah, that'll work. Yes. Somebody that has had vets, I had vets when I was young, a grad student, and I gave them up.
How did you afford that?
Well, they were a lot cheaper.
You're rich, huh?
Let's put it this way, I borrowed them for a number of years, and I gave them up. I gave one up the week I got married. And then in 1990, I had sort of a second childhood again. I had one for a year, and I still covet one, but that'll come sometime. Now when you have a bunch of grandchildren all around here and there, you can't have them all.
It doesn't work too well.
It doesn't work too well.
I have my first Corvette now. Never had one, or could afford one. But I'm doing something wrong. I don't have any speeding tickets yet. Well, it's a fun car. We're about to come out with one that looks quite different, totally redesigned, inside and out. I think you'll like it a lot.
Well, great. Ed, we really appreciate
Thank you.
Thanks very much for sharing.
C7? Yeah.